Welcome to the Voices of the Goddess podcast. We believe that there is a goddess inside each and every one of us. When we use our voice to share that goddess, we support and uplift each other. Join us each week as we interview women to receive the message of their goddess within. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Voices of the Goddess podcast, where we empower, inspire, and uplift women to become the goddesses they are meant to be. I'm Julietta, the magical PT. I am a physical therapist here in sunny Fort Lauderdale, and I'm originally from Wisconsin, so I'm a Midwestern girl, but I have been down here, it feels like forever, but I moved down in 1994. And it doesn't matter how long I live down here. I am not from Florida. I will always be from Wisconsin. And I'm in private practice in physical therapy. And I'm also an artist and a jeweler and a podcaster with this lovely woman on the other side of the screen from me.
So my name is Allison Mancini, and I am also a podcaster, and I'm also a Midwest girl. And what's really crazy is I moved down here in 1993. So it's like the universe knew what it was doing. It moved us both down here. It just took us a long time.
We could meet.
Right. It just took a while, but we finally met. So I am a Michigander at heart, Midwest girl, but I have been living down here for 28 years. I'm married to an amazing guy for the same amount of time, and we have 2 adult children. And I also have a dog and a grand dog. And I am I'm a holistic nutritionist, but I'm in the process of getting my certification as a functional nutritionist, which I'm really, really super geeked out about. And I'm also human resources director for an amazing company called the Gold Digger Girl. And did I say podcaster, mom?
You did.
Friend, sister, all that good stuff, goddess.
You're every woman.
That's right. And I'm super excited because today we're going to talk about.
Yeah. So Allison gifted me this book, 73 Lessons Every Goddess Must Know, a sacred playback for your soul. This book is so fun and so easy to read. And there's a part in here, like I was laughing because Allison's like, what page is it on? She doesn't even have the pages numbered. And I'm like, that's perfection.
Yeah.
But I was reading this and I'm like, this is a message that, I don't know, maybe there's only one person out there that needs to hear this today, but I know someone needs to hear this, whether it's part of it or if it's all of it. And so I'm going to read it's going to be a little bit. It's a few pages that I'm reading, but it's so worth it. So here I go. Today and every day, you have permission. You have permission to say no to demands on your time that don't light you up and that don't give energy back to you. You have permission to not give a crap what's happening outside your world and keep your energy focused on what you are creating. You have permission to let go of friendships that make you feel like shit. You have permission to say no whenever you like, however you like, in whatever kind of voice you like, without feeling like only mean girls say no and nice girls say yes. That's bull. Yes and no have equal weighting. What's important is if you use them when they are the best thing for you, not out of fear, obligation, or guilt. You have permission to know that yes is powerful and so is no. The power comes from using either from your highest spirit and truest integrity. You have permission to change. You have permission to not be the person you once were. You have permission to get angry and self-righteous and to also glean the wisdom from those emotions. They are leading you to where your boundaries are and where they have been crossed and what you need to do from now on. You have permission to be exactly how you are. You have permission to not be more like anyone else in the world, even if you think they are better, wiser, or more popular. You have permission to be more like yourself, your gifts, your wisdom. You have permission to not care what other people think of you. You have permission to not try to change what other people think of you. You can't ever argue that you are a good person. They will either know you are or not. You don't need to spend time with people who don't believe in you. You have permission to do things that your friends and family do not. You have permission to be wild, expressive, truthful, exciting, and outspoken. You have permission to not accept friendship requests on Facebook or anywhere else in your life. You have permission to block people whenever you like. You have permission to share as much or as little as you like. You have permission to blog or not blog. You have permission to Twitter or not Twitter. It doesn't really matter. As long as it's making you happy, that's the best thing. You have permission to suck at a wide variety of activities. It's okay. You make up for it with your million other brilliance particles. You have permission to be whatever body shape you like. You have permission to choose and choose again and then choose again. You have permission to not always be a perfect image of something. You have permission to be a contradiction. You have permission to not go to your school reunion unless it really excites you and delights you, and you would really love to heart reconnect with people you went to school with. You have permission to not be interested in the newest fad, harem pants, geek glasses, Polaroid cameras, scrapbooking, macrame. You also have permission to be totally obsessed with them if it makes your heart light up. You have permission to cut people from your life. You have permission to surround yourself with people who are good and loving and nurturing to you. You have permission to be a disappointment to some people as long as you're not a disappointment to yourself. You have permission to do nothing whenever you like. You have permission to make your big dream come true. You have permission to not do it all perfectly or have all your shit together. You have permission to not forgive people. You have permission to forgive people when it's right for you. You have permission to think some people are crazy. You have permission to think some people are smearing ice cream with chocolate and wafers and sprinkles and cherry on top. You have permission to not have the perfect relationship. You have permission to not have a relationship. You have permission to take whatever time you need for you. You have permission to make ridiculous choices for yourself. You have permission to use and listen to your intuition, to feel when things are off and to remove yourself from them, even when you don't quite know why. You will always find out why. Our intuition is here to serve us. You have permission to be down and you have permission to be up. You have permission to still believe in unicorns and fairies. You have permission to believe in things that other people think are very odd and strange. You have permission to not care. You have permission to believe in things that make your life wholer, richer, and deeper. You have permission to make your own world that is the truest painting of you. You have permission to suck at coloring in. You have permission to say bugger off to anyone who has ever told you that you're not good enough, you're not worth it, you're not beautiful, you are not lovable, you are not the most divine, wise, delicious goddess to walk the planet. You have permission to know that you are. You have permission to swear when you like, however you like, to your reckless abandon. You have permission to not be the best of anything, just the best of yourself. And some days, just the best you can do that day. You have permission to not always give. You have permission to fill your own cup first. You have permission to have things around you that delight you. You have permission to live in a teepee if you want to, or a mansion, whichever makes your heart, your spirit shine is the right thing for you. You have permission to make choices on whether it makes your spirit shine. You have permission to know you are a goddess, even when it doesn't feel like it, even when you feel utterly human, even when you want nothing more than to climb under your blanket or light up the sky. You are a goddess. You have permission. You have permission. You have permission.
I love that.
So it was a lot, and I just had to share that. So
no, I think it's so great. And I love when she says, you are the most divine, wise, delicious goddess to walk the planet.
Yep,
that is awesome. That is awesome. And what's so interesting about this book is, Julietta, it was one of those things that the universe had to have put in our path, because I wasn't looking for this book. I typed in something else on Amazon and this came up. I don't even remember what it was. And I was like, goddess book. Let me look at that. And so I clicked on it and I'm like, oh my gosh, we have to have one. Like, how can we not have these? So I ordered one for each of us. And I don't even know when this book was written. Oh, 2011. So it's 10 years old, but so good. And I just love it. And you're right. It is really fun to read.
And with that was a lot. So we got to bring our guest on.
Yes, we do. She's been so patient. She's waiting. Hey, Raina.
Hello. Hi, Juliet Allison. That was amazing. That was amazing.
Right?
Yeah. So I took from that basically she's saying, do you.
Right.
You're a goddess.
Your goddess do you. Yeah, I love it. And whatever
Yeah.
that is, it's all good. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, Raina, please introduce yourself to our audience. Tell them a little bit about who you are and what you do.
All right. So I'm Raina. I live in South Florida by way of Tennessee. That's where I'm originally from. I'm a wife, a mom to 4 beautiful girls, 2 22-year-olds. Yes, a 17-year-old and a 10-year-old. So the 22-year-olds, they're stepsisters. So we have a blended family. I'm a nurse. I've been a nurse for about 20 years. I recently transitioned to the data side. So I'm like in healthcare data analytics now. And when she said, permission, you have permission to suck. So now that I've pivoted into like this heavy data world, I'm kind of sucking, but I'm getting there. And I'm also a small business owner. So we have a company, Love and Ring Co., where we offer bath and beauty products. And that kind of happened at the urging of one of my sisters. As a household, we make our household essentials like detergents, baby food 10 years ago, and skincare products. And my sister, she said, you know what? You need to start making this and selling. I said, no, I'm a nurse. I nurse. I work at a hospital. This is what I do. I'm not a salesman. But after some, years went on, some life events happened. I kind of recalibrated my path and just refocused, And I was like, we're going to start this business. So we started Love and Rain Co., where I make soaps, lotions, body oils, and things like that. And then with my company, it's not so much of selling. I just feel like I try to operate from a place of love, from the vendors that we use, how I create our products, what I use to put in the products. I just feel like when we all, as people, operate from like a mindset of love, we make better choices. So in making better choices of where I get my supplies from, I want to deal with people that help their community or they empower that community where they're sourcing their product. And loving ourselves, just even while we started making our household products, we wanted to be resourceful and wanted to be mindful of what we were putting in our bodies and on our bodies. And just helping our community, our local and global community. And I'm a softball mom when I have time.
You spoke so many of our love languages there. There you have it. She just pretty much wrapped it all up in a beautiful little package for us.
Yeah.
From the making stuff yourself to the doing things from love to figuring it out, like everything. Hey, we're done. All right.
Yeah, there's I like a lot of things. Like she said, do what you want to do. Yes, I was a nurse for 20 years, but I love data. I love data, making things. So,
I recently had a friend reach out to me on social media and she's like, I thought that you worked for yourself. And I'm like, I do work for myself, but I also do this, and this. Like, there's just and Juliet and I have this conversation all the time. There's just this mindset of like, you have to be in this box of a career and that's what you do. And I don't know about you because your kids are like older. Some of them are older like mine. Mine are 25 and 22. I think that's been a hard thing to get across even to my oldest, the 25-year-old. Like, you don't have to put yourself in this box of this one thing. Like, you need to do things that you love and you're passionate about and that fill joy. They're joyful for you. And that could be a couple different things. So don't worry about it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why, at the beginning, I graduated high school, went to school to be a nurse, and that's all I knew. Yeah. And then where I am in life, I didn't think that I could be here. My little 19-year-old self didn't see that. I saw nursing. That's what you are.
Right. Yeah, I agree. All right. We got to jump into the questions. We're like, well, all right. Question number 1, Raina, what is your superpower?
So my superpower, I think it would be that I'm a nurturer. So, just one being a nurse, I think that's just something that we hold. But like when I go to a nursery, that's kind of my thing that I like to do. I go to nurseries, I like the reject section. I like the clipping, the trash bin with all the cuttings, and I take them home. I water them, give them, whatever they need. And then when they're blooming, I'm like, oh yes, you did that. I don't think I can make people bloom. I don't think it translates to humans, but I do feel like that I am a supportive friend and family member.
You make them bloom.
I was just going to say, I'm like, you make them bloom. Like,
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, me too.
I hope, or at least help in their blooming process, wherever they are in their life.
I love it. That's awesome. All right. Question number 2. What is one book, if you can say one, if you can't, it's fine, you can have more than one, that has greatly influenced your life?
Yeah. So I know you guys are avid readers. I love to read. It's just hard for me to find the time now. Like I've been stuck on one book probably since the pandemic started. So I'm listening to Audible books now. And the most recent one that I really enjoyed was a book by Tabitha Brown, Feeding Your Soul, Finding Our Way to Love, Joy, and Freedom. She really talks about her life story, and it really resonated with me. It was just reaffirming. She talked about her path, her persistence, taking off those blinders of this is what you're supposed to do. Her gifts that she was given by God that she was ashamed of for many years, and then grew into them and appreciated them. And then just her relationships with people. I think that part was one of the biggest takeaways. And again, reaffirming, having 2 older girls, and I'm the oldest of 6 siblings, right? So years passed, younger Raina, I used to feel like it was my place to exert my opinion on their life. If I saw them doing things that I used to do and it led to, maybe not a desirable path, I would say, hey, you shouldn't do that. I would lecture them. But as years grew on, I don't know if I got older or tired. I don't know. I just took a step back and said, you know what? They're not harming anyone. They're not harming themselves. Let them be on their path. And I'm there to guide them as they need along their journey. Whatever lesson they learn in that journey is what they're going to learn, as I did. And she mentions that in her book. She basically said, mind your own business. And it's really, I have to say, it's really helped me with my adult children. I tell my parents all the time, I'm sorry. But with my adult children, I feel like having that type of mindset helps foster our relationship and the relationship with my siblings. My youngest sibling is 21 years old, so I had to take the mom hat off and see her as a woman. She's a young woman. Mm-hmm. She's not my kid. She's not mine to raise. Mm-hmm. So I feel like it helps. You're there to help someone, and you're nourishing a relationship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The book was Feeding the Soul, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I just looked it up. Yeah. It looks really good. I've never heard of her. I definitely want to check that.
Yeah. And she also has recipes. So each chapter she has a recipe. She's been an actress, and she got Instagram famous or social media famous. So I've watched her story progress, and it's been beautiful. She thought she had one path, but she just kept at her craft, and she's an actress. She's got a book. She doesn't keep herself in a box.
She's beautiful.
You see her?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm looking at the cover of the book on my phone. She's
yeah. So I had to listen to her on Audible, and I finished it in a day. I binged it. It was really good.
Audible is great. Like I used to have judgment towards listening to books versus reading the paper books, and I was in a point in my life where I had a required reading list that was very long, and I was like, how am I possibly going to get through these books? And I was like, all right, I'm just going to have to try and Audible them. And I actually ended up loving Audible. So I do both. I Audible in my car, and I read paper books in my house, or wherever I'm situated. So I have released all judgment towards Audible or any way of listening to books. It's just as valuable as actually reading
the actual book. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was once a book snob also. I like to open it. I like to smell the pages. dog ear the pages, highlight. I like writing in it. But time just got the best of me. I said, but I still want to read, So now I listen to books on Audible.
I'm still a book snob. I can't help it. Can't help it. I love books. I love how they feel when I hold them. And I do Audible. I do Audible. I listen to Audible. But what happens is, like, perfect example, I said, okay, I'm going to start listening to Audible. Julietta says it's awesome. I trust Julietta. I'm going to do it. So I do it. And I'm like, okay, I'll just pick some like authors I've been wanting to listen to. So I picked Brene Brown and listened to it. I listened to one of her books. I'm like, that was awesome. Then I get another book and I'm halfway through the Audible. I'm like, I just need this in paper. So I had to order it. I just couldn't do it. So I'm trying to do Audible, but.
So it's like watching a movie. The books that go to movies, you read the book, watch the movie.
You're right. Yeah.
And we just dropped Brene Brown's name because she is going to be a guest on this show one day.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were saying like this week.
Yes, please have that reaction. That's perfect.
But it is solidified it right there. It's going to happen.
That's right. Speak it. She will be a guest on your podcast.
Yeah, I'm thinking we need to have this Tabitha Brown on here too. Like I'm looking at her on. That would be awesome. Okay, we need to.
She's amazing.
Okay, question number 3. What is your favorite form of self-love? How do you like to take care of you?
Oh my goodness. So gardening. I love gardening. Some days I do get, extremely dirty or it's painful, especially like if I have to go on my fruit trees and get out the mangoes, avocados. I'm in pain for the next 2 days. But yeah, I'll turn on my music. I'm outside dancing, talking to my plants. And then also I kind of reflect when I'm out there. Sometimes I get extremely busy and I can't tend to my garden. So some things aren't growing. There's a lot of weeds. So I'm out there working harder. And I'm like, you know what? If you tend to this every day, or not every day, regularly, your flowers will bloom. You won't have all these weeds. And I'm like, yeah, that's like my life. It's like anything. In your life, if you nourish something, you feed it, yourself, your goals, your relationships, they bloom. So that's why I like being out there too. I like being in the dirt, and then I give myself, little lectures when I'm out there.
Does it help talking to your plants? Because I really want to garden, but I don't. I'm learning how to have a green thumb. I don't currently have one, but
it does. I named some of them. There's too many now. Like the OGs, they have names. I have one plant I've had since I was like 7 years old. His name is George.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, his name is George. I had to steal him from my mom, who does not have a green thumb. So I stole him several years ago. But that's my oldest plant. Yeah, and I talk to them. I water them. You gotta wipe them down.
That's so funny because she's the second person who, we had someone last week when we were recording that names all the trees in their yard. So
yeah. There's just too many now. But like I said, the OGs, they have names.
I have the tree in my front yard at my lake house. I named it George. George is a great name. Yeah.
Yeah. That Cappy Aquarius.
There you go. Great mind thinks.
We're going to call you Cap Aquarius.
Yes.
Cap Aquarius. Okay. Final question is, how do you hold yourself accountable, or where do you find accountability in your life to do all the amazing things that you're doing?
Yeah. So to hold myself accountable, I have like a little touch of ADD. So I have to write out to-do lists. In one of you guys' previous podcasts, you said, it's not you have to do, it's get to do. Mm-hmm. So I've changed my mindset on saying, okay, I have to do this. No, I get to do it. They do seem time consuming sometimes, take a lot of energy, but I get to do those things. Now, all the time, I don't get to do them. And COVID has really taught me to give myself and others grace. Mm-hmm. So if I don't get to all of the lists, I tried my best, or if I didn't try my best, I had a great day. I don't know.
Right.
And then also I have an awesome circle of family and friends. They give me honest feedback for, my goals in my personal life and my professional life. And I love it. Sometimes it's extremely honest, but you need that. People that love you will give you that hard, honest feedback.
Mm-hmm.
And they keep me in line.
Yeah, we were just talking about feedback in another episode too.
Yeah.
I feel like when we get these running themes, it's like something I need to learn, or I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's good for growth. And again, it keeps me, accountable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we should probably get takeaways done here. Julietta, you want to go first, or you want me to go first?
Well, if you've got yours, you go first.
Yeah, I would say actually the last thing that Raina was just talking about, I had forgotten to look at it as my get to do list. And lately, because I've had so much to do, I've been looking at it as a to do list and almost getting annoyed by it, right? Like, oh, I have so much to do. Instead of going, oh, I get to do so many amazing things, right? Mm-hmm. So I think I have to write at the top. You know what? I need to find a to-do list that says get to do instead of to do, so that it just is staring me in the face every day that I get to do all these things. So that would be my takeaway.
Nice. So my takeaway, I guess just the thing that really sung to my soul was hearing Raina talk about how, yes, she was a nurse. I am a physical therapist. And you do, you go to school and that's all that you imagine that you're going to do with your life. And, over the last several years, all these new things that I've incorporated into my life, and not like I need anybody's permission or approval or anything, but seeing that there's other people that have done the same thing. It's yes, I'm not so weird after all.
I think it's getting even more accepted because of what we've gone through in the last almost 2 years now, right? More people are so, get it that people are changing what they're doing, changing perspective, life short, however you want to look at it, Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And also having permission to do the things that fill your soul.
Yeah.
And not that I don't because I get the impression that you love being a nurse. I love being a physical therapist. But I like other things too. So I get to do more than just one thing.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
What's your takeaway, Raina?
I would say my takeaway, going back to the book, where she said, you have permission, and then also, going back to Allison, you have permission to do whatever you want. Don't put yourself in a box. I'm a nurse. You're a physical therapist. We don't have to stay there. There's other things we enjoy. So I think that's my takeaway. Do you, like the book said, basically. Yeah. Whatever feeds your soul is what you need to do. Oh, I'm going back to that with this book.
Yeah.
So just tie the two books together. Yeah.
Exactly. Love
that.
You
did. You totally tied the two books.
Yes. You have permission to feed your soul.
Feeding the soul and freeze. Did I freeze?
You did.
I did. Okay.
Oh. So that's going to be Raina's book. You have permission to feed your soul.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good book title.
Yeah. Subtitle, Do You.
I love that.
There you go. Awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Raina. And thank you for being patient while I took a little extra time at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, no worries. I thank you ladies so much. I so appreciate this and everything that you're doing. I really do. Thank you both so much.
Yeah. And I also want to say thank you to our listeners for listening in today. And if you've enjoyed what you've heard, please subscribe, follow, share. And you can also, if you want to get in contact with Raina and find out more about her products, or if you need to find out more about Allison or myself, check the show notes. All the links and everything will be available there for you to find us easily. And also, if you'd like to be a guest on our show, head on over to our website, botgpodcast.com. We have a form on the website you can fill out to request to be a guest on our show. We would absolutely love to have you. And I think that's it. Did I miss anything? All right. I want to wish you all a magical day. Bye.
Bye, Raina.